Tonight's true story from viewer Ryan in Western North Carolina kind of makes me think that the Chimney Rock apparitions weren't as isolated of an event as I initially thought. About a year ago, early last summer, I, 29-year-old male, was chilling in my house about 1 or 2 a.m. I was up late because I was having a hard time winding down those days after my men's league baseball games. At the time, I was living in a place called Mars Hill in Western North Carolina, a fairly rural place. I wasn't drinking, but I had smoked a little, and I had been rewatching all the Predator movies that week. Anyway, I was standing in my kitchen next to the door to the porch, and I was getting ready to step outside for a smoke when I felt my entire house, a tiny home, begin to vibrate, along with a very loud humming sound. We occasionally have earthquakes in Western North Carolina, but I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, so I've never experienced one. Regardless, my first thought was earthquake, so I stepped outside immediately, and that's when I really heard the humming noise. It was absolutely, completely surreal, straight up like a sci-fi movie humming noise. The really strange thing was that I could feel it, like in my body. Not only that, but I felt it move down the street. I don't really know how to explain that part, but I felt this large, unseen thing move down the street, and the vibrations and sound followed it, and I could hear and feel it go the direction of the dead-end street for about a half mile, and I could feel it moving through the holler. This whole experience lasted all of 20 seconds, and it kind of really freaked me out. I armed myself, locked my door, closed the blinds, and went immediately to bed. At the beginning of the experience, my neighbors across the street turned a light on, and I thought the commotion had woke them up. The next few days went by, and I ran into them outside and asked them if they were awakened by the earthquake the other night, that I had seen them turn their light on. They said no, not at all. They had no memory of having turned on the light and couldn't think of a reason why they may have turned the light on at that time of night. I brought it up to my other neighbor who had lived there for many years and is very plugged into the local community. He got back with me a few days later and said he'd heard some news that a satellite had crashed in the area around the same time that I'd experienced the phenomenon. I'm sure there's some weird satellite technology out there, but I just don't buy that. This thing hovered over our street, and it was moving slowly and deliberately. I've had a number of inexplicable experiences here in the mountains, but also where I grew up in Chicago. Often they've occurred when I first move into a new place, or just simply during my childhood. This one just has me stumped. Thank you, Ryan. That's a pretty interesting story. And thank you, folks. That's been Jay's Haunted Appalachia for tonight. Keep sending me those stories and suggestions. If you need information on how to do so, it's on my profile page. Keep Appalachia haunted, y'all.